Okay. So, we'll all stand for the pledge, and the flag is back here. So hand over your card. Wait a minute. No, wait for Jeff. Don't fall. Flood religion. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Well, isn't that wonderful? Guess what we get to do? Finally,
What?
we get to.
You want roll call?
We're supposed to do that before the Pledge of Allegiance.
I know, but you're so excited to help us.
I know.
Finally get roll.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mary Sue.
Chair Sweetland,
I'm
Commissioner Brainerd.
Here.
Commissioner, do not know. Commissioner Nevitt.
Here.
Commissioner Owens.
Almost.
And Commissioner Yu. Here. Commissioner Montgomery. Commissioner Triardo.
Okay. Now, we'll move on to our election of our 2019 vice chair. It's almost 2020, but we're gonna get him in here. So, Jeff has cleared his background check.
Mhm.
And so now, may I have a motion to, oh yeah, any nominations from the floor?
So moved.
Oh.
For Jeff.
Yeah.
As I said, if anyone else, I read the duties of the chair and the bylaws, and since you're always here, it's not much of a job.
I'm surprised you weren't so glad.
When I was vice chair, she wasn't here one time, so. And one time she was late.
And I was late, yeah.
So be prepared.
Okay, so, we have one nomination for vice chair.
Right.
And I have a second to that nomination. All right, Kay seconds the nomination. So Jeff Nevitt has been nominated to become our vice chair. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand, please.
Right.
So that's
Sure.
5 in
Mhm.
favor
Why not?
and I don't know, 2 absent. So congratulations.
That's great.
I have a T-shirt for you.
Yes.
The first one is an email from Alice Goodwood that some of you received, but she didn't have everyone's email. And she asked me to share this email with all of you. Basically, what I gather is she's not going to be helping out with float this year and is making a suggestion to, instead of going with the float and float decorating, to take the direction of using a card club to shuttle the seniors around. So I'm basically sharing this with you if you want to give your input.
The cars are great with some kind of convertible kind of thing. But I like the parade with the actual float itself. And, I think there's a lot of seniors who get involved in it who really want it. So I'd certainly be, but, I would use this as a fallback. That's what my recommendation would be. Do the float, try to, do it like normal. Someone will come to the up and become chairman. Or let them do
We
co-chairman
have
or
2
something.
new staff on and with our senior centers that both are very artsy. So I think that would help.
Because it's so good and everybody loves it and we're so proud of the seniors who get it. And, we've done, second prize and first prize, they changed categories, so we got a first prize in the
I think we,
But we've
last year we
always won
didn't get
prizes.
anything.
No, the year before got second.
Yeah, but, and everybody's been so proud because it's always been such a great. For a float.
Okay,
Can I
any
ask,
other?
has anyone at the center said anything? Either directors or seniors?
I think Alice has always been ring leaders. But, you know, maybe it's time for somebody else.
If we can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I remember, one year we were on the back of pickup. Parks and Rec were in an old black car. But they were in the car. There was a sign on the side of the car, but nobody could see the commissioner.
Yeah.
That is, they were inside, so kind of, you know, we were out there with Clark and his beard, and, you know, and Ron Fisher and, you know, waving. So I'm just comparing that to being in a closed car.
Yeah, the closed cars are hard to see the people who are in them.
We don't have to be aggressive, or to give us vehicles.
Right.
So we'll take that idea as a fallback as far as car clubs, but I have full confidence between staff and our volunteers. I mean, they've been working on the fall prevention decorations and doing life-size Batmans and superheroes and painting, and they're having a good time. So, I'm
Maybe they can do an Avengers theme for the Christmas parade.
You never know what the Christmas is.
What date is
Senior
it?
department.
It's the
The
7th.
parade is December 7th.
And I know when I was in the center last week with Pepperdine, I was talking to Fernanda for Elsa's son, and we were showing them the room, and they were decorating something.
Cutting something out.
Something, yeah, and I said, oh, is this where you do floats? He goes, yeah, they love to do that. So,
They last week called me over because they were so proud of the decorations for Friday's Mexican Independence celebration.
I think that's
And
good.
they made full pinatas out of cardboard, and I would think that they were store purchased worthy. So they were creative. I have no doubt.
They may get maybe upset if we put that away.
Okay, and then the next item is the fall prevention forum. So that is a week from this Friday, December 20th, at the South Oxnard Center, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I just want to get a head count on any of you that are planning to attend.
And she wants everybody there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I unfortunately, after all the planning and involvement, won't be there, but I'll be able to see it.
Is it something you need to be there the whole time, or can you come?
Well, you can come
You
and go.
come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be able to be there until the very end, but I'll
We had it too, just-
Okay, so Lewis is a definite, Alice, you're later in the day, and Kate.
I'm gonna try.
The superintendent of LV, the one who gave me a job when I came over here, he's coming with his wife.
To fall prevention?
I told them to sign
Oh,
up.
good.
Wonderful.
His wife is very active with the civic duty services.
Good. And that's all I have under, report of mission secretary.
Oh, you're there.
Okay.
Name is
So,
Diaz.
I made it.
Yeah.
I apologize. I honestly overslept. For real. And I'm tired. That's tired. Too many dinners, too many books.
Good morning.
Oh,
Come on in.
You're small, so we're kind of squeezing around.
okay.
Sweden people, you're not lucky.
So now we're at,
Oh, we do that before Mary Sue. Okay, so, the next item is new business, the Senior Services Commission bylaws. So the background on this is, I was asked to attend the Citizens Advisory Group's meeting with Ashley Golden, who's the Assistant City Manager. And they're trying to get all the tags, that's the Citizens Advisory Group, and it's library, mobile, there's some that weren't there. But anyway, they want to get all the tags so that they're uniform. And how can they do that? And so I told them about how we had developed, after they all talked for a while, I said, well, we had our goals and everything, and so we are the model.
Oh, yeah.
What's the standard?
We are.
That's what I call a good chipper.
Well, it's thanks to Renee and her tenacity.
I know it, and her team.
So anyway, Renee sent our what we do, and so now they're having all the other tags do something similar. But the last piece of it is the bylaws, and they want our bylaws to be uniform with the other bylaws for the other tags. We had a deadline, and yesterday we were supposed to get something from the city attorney's office with what our bylaws are supposed to look like. As of this morning, we didn't get anything. So Renee made a call and I made an email, and the city attorney's office didn't get around to it. So I guess we can still look at our bylaws, but that's what it's all about. And I think it's a good goal, because what they wanted to know from the CAGs are, what are our accomplishments for the last 3 years? What's our attendance record? And bylaw review, and we're going to talk about business cards as well. And so we're on top of everything. But Renee and I had plans, and I don't know, should we still go over the bylaws so that they're fresh in our
Well,
minds?
there's immediately some updates that need to be done.
So they're drafting a whole new set of proposed bylaws. So these are specific to the Senior Services Commission. Every commission has had their own set of bylaws. So the goal of this exercise that they're doing is to have a uniform set of bylaws for all CAGs, rather than individual ones at each CAG. So I don't know. So what I would say is, if you review the bylaws that were sent in the packet and just have make sure that these points are kept in the new set of bylaws, or I don't think this should be in the new set of bylaws, I would say to give that feedback to Ellis so she could take to the meeting. And we'll just kind of go from there, since we don't have the proposed bylaws at this point.
I'll get together with you, Kay, if you see some
Well,
things.
it said 9 members, and we no
Yeah.
longer have 9. So, yeah, so that's, I'm sure that's a standard kind of thing.
It was 49 the age for every cat.
No, it's
And
not.
I thought ours was 50 or 55.
Yeah.
So 49 is not the standard. 49 is for Senior Services Commission, but I mean, we've had
Yes, I have
youth
to resign.
commissions and other commissions are clearly under that.
That's just for us. And
They
then
just got swung.
my only other question on page 2, Article 4B, is it an annual meeting? We don't have.
Well, we have annual presentation.
Yeah, but this talks about we shall have an annual meeting and elect, the commission. That wording
That's
is
usually considered your first meeting of the year where you elect your chair and
Right.
vice chair.
Right.
We haven't.
So just basically, it's
do that.
annually.
Yeah,
re-elect.
that's what I was suggesting. Yeah,
Maybe it's just written awkwardly.
yeah, it's written.
When you select, what I read it as, you're selecting what meeting is going to be your annual meeting. And then you could be that meeting that I first attended. And when, we were getting it all together, so that's like an annual meeting.
Or just say annually, you will.
Okay, well,
Well,
I don't know.
in this, it indicates that the annual meeting will be in January.
it's scheduled in January. Yeah, which Larita was saying, yeah.
Last
but-
So anyway, we'll look at that and see if we can't reword it, but until we know what the city attorney is proposing, it seems like kind of a futile exercise to go through.
Yeah.
But we are on target, we are on time, we look so good, and it was amazing, the other CAGs, they have to cancel their meetings because they don't have quorum. Some of them, like the homeless commission, they don't meet on a regular basis, you know, they just
With the
have,
problem we have.
I know. You know, I kind of,
They're actually not losing some other people who want to be
yeah, well, and I think that that's one of the things about the meeting that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do any of the commissions have something unique to them, like we have an age requirement? And do any of them have something like an individual from a particular age group, organization?
Usually,
type
you
of
know,
thing?
home rent, community.
Mobile home and planning commission do have specifics, so.
And they were excluded from this meeting because they're different. For some
They're
reason,
special.
they're special.
Yeah.
It's actually, if you look online with the kids, as I do when I applied for this thing years
This thing.
ago. Planning has very specific, you have to have this experience.
Right.
You know, and a couple of them, like the art commissioners, you just need to know.
Right.
And show up.
Older.
Older, and show up to the meetings.
But what I'm getting at is that if you have a uniform set of bylaws, there are some things that are going to be unique to a particular commission or organization that the city has set up. And how is that going to be addressed?
So let me ask you this, because the one thing that's unique to our bylaws is the age requirement.
Right.
So that will be some feedback that Alice can take. Do you all feel that there should be an age requirement? And if there should be, what age requirement would you like Alice to carry forward? Because that's the one thing that does set this commission apart. So then she can speak on that topic at the meeting.
Okay.
So I guess those two questions.
Right. Now, what you have with some organizations, you have bylaws and then you have maybe a different set of procedures. Those procedures, and I think that's really a misnomer, so I'm sure if there's another phrase that could be used, is that could be used from the standpoint of uniqueness to that particular organization. That doesn't necessarily have to be incorporated in the bylaws. It might be referred to, but not incorporated, that addresses that uniqueness of that particular body.
Well, you know, it'll be interesting, and I'll be able to tell you more when we go to this meeting, but I kind of think that they'll give us the bylaws and then we'll add to our bylaws, you know, they might have A, B, C, and D, and we'll add the age requirement at the
Yeah,
end.
there might be just some asterisks, specifics to the, if there is a specific like the age requirement here, it might just be specifically to senior services commission,
Right.
there's this age requirement.
Madam Chair, I was late, so what meeting were you attending?
It was a meeting called by Ashley Golden, who's the assistant city manager. And it was for the CAG chairman of Citizen Action. And the city would like to make the CAGs more uniform in their, the way they operate. And so they had the end result, she wanted each CAG to tell their accomplishment,
We got it.
for the last 3 years, their attendance record, which that's all with the Michelle Asensio, the city clerk. They want us to do a bylaw review, and some of the CAGs don't have business cards, which I don't think concern. So those
That's how you
are
really
the
feel.
things. I mean, it's crazy, and they're thinking about disbanding the library board because they can't get anybody to
It's the same
volunteer.
thing, that same thing. I know people that too.
Yeah.
And they say,
Yeah, so, I mean, the library is the heart of our city, and to think that they wouldn't have,
They had one. It's not.
you know. So anyway, that, and I was able to tell them, well, this is how we do things, and they all, whoa, this is great, and so, anyway, today was supposed to be the day we go over the bylaws, but the city attorney's office did not produce the documents that we need. So, we'll kind of table it, but keep this in mind, and we'll, I think the fact that we meet on a regular basis, we have, that is what sets us apart from all others.
And we do annual reports.
Yes.
And the best thing.
The Parks and Rec had a meeting, they invited me to come to that meeting, and they were talking about their annual report, and they said, well, you do an annual report every year, it's so good, and so then they had a whole list, I mean, it was 2 pages, and I said, you have to keep it simple, and, yeah, so they're looking to us
Thank
for,
our staff here.
yeah. So anyway, it makes me feel good. Also, I heard from somebody who got removed from their tag. They weren't renominated because they've been on it too long. And he said, so I take it you're not on the Senior Services Commission anymore. And I said, well, I am. He said, well, you've been on there so long, and you're not supposed to be on over 8 years. So,
That's part of the new, so I don't know whether that was part of the newly stated procedures.
so my 8 years started this year.
According to my records.
Yes, there you
go.
And if they battle it, we'll say it last year was.
But anyway, there's a lot of talk
You know,
about
as
that.
you get older, it's
We're gonna
funny.
ignore that.
It's the memory.
Right.
We can pull that.
Yeah, oh, yes.
And the fact that I can't say accomplishments, that has something to do with it.
Thank you.
Yes, Victor.
But our age requirement for our commission is 49?
Yeah,
They said it's over 40.
and that's probably why everybody attends the meetings, and the fact that we have them in the morning, and so most of our commissioners are retired. What?
Lorena struggles to wake up.
I think
That's
I'm probably the youngest one of the group, and I struggle. But 9 o'clock is not my time of day. See, you know, I'm like, I'll say, I'm the millennium of the group who stays up and works on other projects till like 1 and 2. And then the morning comes too early.
Well, maybe.
I didn't wake up and literally wake up until 8 o'clock. Then I said, oh, what's wrong?
Yeah, well,
Then you have to have your coffee.
Didn't have anything. I'm just struggling.
Oh, well, here.
I didn't even take any medication. That's
So-
because what
In the
old ladies do,
bylaws.
medication.
Maybe.
There should be a stipulation that all commissions get an alarm clock.
Yeah. I'm on work because then I wonder what's going on.
I
one
think
thing I do on this Tuesday
You set
morning,
a clock?
I set the alarm.
Oh,
yeah,
girl.
Make sure I'm on my.
I'm the natural, see. It'll run my blood pressure
I
up.
was at city council.
I think maybe when we schedule our meetings for the next year, we should have one meeting that we meet at noon in honor of Loretta.
And then needs to
That's a
especially be
great
the
idea.
one after our holiday week.
Oh,
So we just have that Labor Day week.
right.
So,
You
you know,
should be
that
rested.
is
Right?
Yeah, but this is the week after it, see? So I'm still struggling. And I was on vacation before that.
You should be rested.
But you're here,
No, I'm not. I didn't rest anytime I was on vacation.
but you're here.
Well,
So
that's
that's-
you said, though, we went to all the meetings at one time.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And then-
Anyway, I made it.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
You're in trouble.
we'll
Michael,
just
over
go to the next,
there.
and do keep the bylaws in your mind, and so we'll go to the next,
So we're not voting on anything in this.
No.
We're just postponing.
we're just gabbing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so our next item is the senior services programs and events. Mary Sue, are you up first or is it Deanna?
Mary Sue. First.
You know what, let's skip to Deanna,
Oh.
because she's gonna speak out to the fall prevention committee meeting. just a second, and then we can go back to this.
I just wanted to share some pictures of our summer barbecue. We had a wonderful time with our summer luau, and we had about 110 seniors attend, so it was a great event in our Rose Garden again this year. Lots of prizes and photo booths and dancing and all the things that they all enjoy. So I want to share some photos of that. And we also, we printed out the photos of the seniors who took their pictures in the photo booth so they could have them too. So just so you guys are aware, Alice Madrid has this on display at the Wilson Center. So she won an award. I left kind of the headings up. So award for best collection at the Ventura County Fair this year. So she has all her high school memorabilia and she kept everything. So it's a great display if you go inside the Wilson Center. And then at the South Oxnard Senior Center, we have a painting group who won all different placements, and they're very, very good artists. So they also displayed stuff at the Ventura County Fair. And then, of course, we have some birthdays that we celebrate at Palm Vista.
My wife turned 66 yesterday.
Oh.
And I took her on Route 66 at the Pizza Hut.
That's cute. So this is our rummage sale too that happened in August as well. We had a good amount of people show up. I know that it's kind of been up and down over the years, but people did sell stuff, and so that worked out really well at our parking lot out here. And then I just wanted to show some of our flyers. I know a lot of these are in your guys' packets, but like we've been broadcasting, we have our fall prevention next week. This Friday, we have our Mexican Independence Day celebration at Wilson Senior Center. The other two centers are going to be coming together for this event, and we have wonderful catering coming in. He makes the best tacos with homemade tortillas, so we're excited to have him back. There's going to be music and dancing and a photo booth, so just so you guys are aware.
Yeah, is the $10 fee only return for a lot of people?
Huh?
Is the $10 fee for the lunch a return?
No,
No.
no.
Or, okay.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah, we haven't heard. Yeah,
You know, I was thinking the same thing, but I said, well, it's that same thing. I
yeah,
said, that $10, that's like for, people that really not budgeting themselves out.
the seniors that attend these are regular programs, so
Mhm.
I think that they know and plan ahead because
They're $10.
so
yeah,
it's the summer barbecue, the Mexican
They know it's
Independence,
coming,
the
yeah.
holiday that we charge, and it really is a minimal amount.
I
There's
know it
no profit
No,
on our
no
end.
problem.
We're basically covering the cost of the food.
yeah.
You get seconds.
They try.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do try.
The Marcus committee had lunch at Wilson with the students, and we all put money into it. And now this person, nobody paid. And so I was looking around the room, and it's hard to judge if people just take for granted that it's free. Or they can't pay. It's not for me to judge. No.
Yeah, so sometimes I wonder,
Get to make anyone feel like they can't give because they
Right.
can't
Right.
donate. So we, no verbal encouragement. There's signs that are posted. And, there might be an announcement every now and then, but it's really kept very minimum because some people can't afford it.
it's out there.
So,
Oh, to the credit of the Pepperdine students, they were showing money. You must have had a better day.
well,
Sure we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did. For that day, you may have. This is
You went higher than 55 cents that day. They cracked it down.
You know what the average donation is per commission or club or?
So for our senior nutrition program, the average donation is about $46 cents when it's a requested $3 donation. So it's pretty county-wide. We're the lowest for that program. I would say there's some cities on the high end that bring in $1.50, maybe. So it's not like we're going against people who are actually hitting that $3 mark countywide. Let's see, but we are.
And we've sold about 85 tickets for the Mexican Independence Day celebration. So yeah, they really look forward to that one. And then, yeah. And then this is a new program that we're introducing, the Clubhouse Book Club, which is meeting here. It's Thursday, September 26th, and they're reading a book. It's in your pack. I know it's hard to see here. But Lisa Haran is the one who leads the group, and they typically go through like historical fiction novels. Is typically what the group is used to, and she has about 10 participants already. So it's a brand new thing, and there's also a flyer for October and November in your packets and the books that they're going through. October 17th and November 21st, third Thursdays of the month, 3 to 4 p.m. And we do ask that you RSVP if you're going to come, just so she knows how many people to anticipate coming to the book club, which is a pretty steady following for that. And that's a program that kind of transferred from Carnegie over to here.
I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great new program.
It was
Yeah.
an easy fit. We saw that opportunity.
We're crazy about.
The more variety of,
Spicy enough for it.
I believe the
There are
more.
two.
Like so good.
Yeah.
And then these are just some upcoming programming, just so you guys are aware. September 11th, we still have our STOP program going on. So we have some info booths. We're not doing drug take-backs this month, but we have info booths at Palm Vista and Wilson Center. Palm is at 10 and Wilson is at 10:30. September 11th as well at SOC, there's an Every Woman Counts cancer prevention presentation from the American Cancer Society happening. September 13th, Mexican Independence Day celebration. We're busy this coming 2 weeks. September 18th, the STOP info booth is happening at South Oxnard Center at 10 a.m. And then also on the 18th, there's a Living Within Your Means presentation. There's a flyer in your packet as well. And that's going to be at the Wilson Senior Center. And they kind of go over budgeting and, you know, senior discounts and all sorts of things that I think is really helpful for seniors to have in their pocket. September 20th is our Fall Prevention Forum. I said 10 to 2, but I think it's actually 10 to 1 on the flyer. And Wilson and Palm Vista will be closed for that event. So we'll be providing van transportation, though, for seniors who want to come and park in this parking lot, because we all know parking can be difficult when there's a ton of people coming. They're expecting a few hundred. So we're encouraging people to take our van transportations. So we'll be starting that around 9:30 at the centers at Palm Vista and at Wilson. So if you guys hear of anybody who wants to go but can't drive over there, we can help them out. And I think that's it for me.
So as the STOP program slowed down, the first month, like 20-something thousand drugs.
Over 3 months, the 3 months we collected over.
Wow, that's great.
Our second month was the biggest. It was 55,000 people died.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
That's great.
I'm just gonna talk about that on the next page,
Oh,
but
okay.
so-
I'll give you a good segue.
just a couple of updates. The National Service criminal history checks, which everybody had to go through who was getting paid by the federal grant. So I've been background checked again. And they still haven't found it. Still hidden. So I passed. Some of the programs that had volunteers, like the senior companions and the foster grandparents, they all received a living stipend. They had a background check all of their volunteers. But because none of the RSVP volunteers were paid, we didn't have to do that. So it was a big deal across the country for us. Some other stuff that's happening, there's some changes happening on a federal level. They went from state offices, which meant we had people right here that could talk to us. Now they're going to have regional offices. They say that's going to be more efficient and they'll be able to respond to us quicker. I have a hard time believing that. And they're also combining on a federal level. I've always had one person I talk to about finances and somebody else I talk to about the programming, the actual grant, what we're going to do. We're combining that into a single position. So we'll have somebody who is supposed to know budgets and programs and meet with us. So, I did, when they did a listening tour, and I did go and talk about it a year ago in LA, something like that. And I opposed all of this, but obviously.
Your vote carries a little weight.
Yes.
You keep doing it though.
Well, at this point, I am the most senior RSVP director in Southern California. And there's one person in Northern. Any partners for a long time because of the way the federal government has structured us and the kind of reporting. They were focusing more on the impact. When you have a lot of partners, it's hard to measure impact. So I have 2 people at this nonprofit and 2 people here and 1 person here. How do you say that they really had a big impact on the actual goals of the organization? So we went down to, I think we were at about 25 partners at this point. There were 120 when I started. But I've been approached by 2 new agencies, or 2 agencies to sign up with us. One of them being the Ventura County Animal Control. Rio. We don't do anything like that. I'm not going to sign up for somebody who does what we already do. If we have a place for them, for our seniors to volunteer, there's no reason to get 2 of them. But the animal control, it's actually one of the volunteers who contacted me, and she's volunteers with us somewhere else, and she wants to bring it there. So I'm getting some packets together. I haven't added anybody in so long. I'm developing a whole system for it so that I don't just go about it willy-nilly. So that's pretty exciting. Our Tai Chi program, which is the shirt that Jeff has, we did get the 3-year grant for it, but it ended on June 30th. And I was sweating how we were going to actually pay for a trainer to come up and the shirts for the volunteers and everything. And the corporation, who gives us our federal funds, this year decided everybody gets $7,500 more, and it's staying with the program. It's the first increase we've had in many, 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 many years that I haven't had to write a specific grant for. So we got extra money for Bone Builders, and that stayed with the program. And we got the money for the Tai Chi, but then it ended after 3 years. This is across the board, everybody got $7,500. And all we had to do was change our budget to include that money.
That never happened.
That never happened.
But that covers all of your
It
programs?
won't cover, that $7,500 will be used for Tai Chi.
Actually, not, Bone Builders has its
No.
own.
Bone Builders, I wrote a grant probably 9 years ago for $30,000 a year for that. It was immediately reduced to $24,000 because we took it across the board 20% cut. But we got money for Bone Builders through that. It doesn't have to be used for Bone Builders. The first 3 years of it, it had to pay for the program, but after that, it's just melded into the federal grant. And the same thing with this. This money could be used anyway that I wanted, that we wanted, but we needed money to run Tai Chi. If we were going to continue it and keep it growing and pay for our master trainer to come up, we needed money. So this $7,500 is going to that. And I mean, it was around the country, and there were some people who didn't take it, I understand, because there was a match. But we requested a waiver of the match due to the budgetary concerns within the city. And so we got one for this first year. We don't have to do that for that much. So since the grant was ending June 30th, and I have to pay Robert Nations, our master trainer, to certify people, because he spends about an hour reviewing their certification tapes, then writing up improvements, critique of it. I pushed everybody who I thought could get certified, who hadn't just joined, or hadn't just been trained in June. I pushed them to all get certified, so it was all covered by the grant. So we had 19 people. And so not all of them are ready to teach. This takes a long time to get people up and feeling comfortable to give certifications.
Really sound, really hard. I mean, you really have to, as opposed to being bone builders.
Yeah, bone builders is it's pretty standard stuff. You know what you're doing. I didn't anticipate this when I started Tai Chi. I wrote the grant thinking, I do an exercise program. I'll just do another exercise program. But bone builders isolates a joint and you're only moving one thing. So you might do this, but this is all you're moving right here, right? Tai Chi, you're stepping, you're turning, your hands, your head, everything's moving at the same time, and it's all got a place it's supposed to be. And so it's been more difficult to get that up and running. And there's a push on the part of some of my instructors that everybody should be perfect before they teach. I'm not that tied to perfection. I don't want you to do something that's wrong, but even our master trainer will tell you everybody's learning, everybody's evolving. He changes when he comes. It blew the mind of my instructors in the first group when he came the second time, and he's added this kind of wave in his body that none of us can do. But now he does it that way, and he changes a little bit each time. But it's just him expressing himself through the movement of Tai Chi. And it's hard to be perfect if you change it. So anyway, we're now up to 10 classes. We're trying an experiment, which we haven't started yet, in Ventura, where we're going to have an advanced class. So right now, you start a class, there's 8 forms. The first week you do 1 form, the second week you do the form 2, form 1, the third week you do 3, 2, and 1. If you know it, you don't want to go through all that instruction constantly. And so this is an instructor-fed class where you have to have an instructor tell you about it and send you to it. But we're going to try it in Ventura, where they're going to meet just 2 times a week for an hour and just do their Tai Chi thing without a lot of instruction.
You know, the class in Seabridge, which starts tomorrow, the session, they've divided into 3 groups.
Right.
Advanced, intermediate, and beginner, because the advanced people they were leaving the class.
Right. Right. And well, if this works in Ventura and doesn't totally decimate my classes and leave nobody in the class, it gives me a 60 or 70 person advanced class. I really don't know how it's going to be taken. So, and people may not want to leave their class because they know everybody and they're happy with the people they're with. So there's all those kind of
There's a lot of socialization.
Yeah. But I thought we'd try it because it was something that people were, and there's not real, I thought when I applied for an evidence-based program that I'd have real guidance. And there are guidelines on what the exercises look like, but the actual administration of it, it wasn't. So, anyway.
Good
Okay.
to be flexible.
Well, I'm trying to figure things out as I go, yeah. So STOP collected over 100 pounds in the 3 months that the police met us at each of the 3 senior centers. I believe we now have an agreement with them, am I right? Come quarterly?
With PD?
PDs. So we're working on something that'll keep people aware of us and want to come each month to the centers, even if the police department's not there. So we met yesterday with somebody who actually I talked to when I was writing a grant for stuff that included stuff. And they're going to do a session or a talk, a presentation. So we're working on presentation schedule at this point for the year. We've got 4 trained volunteers, but we really could use more. At this point, we're close to having everything signed for the grant with the county. And Val is working full time, and by December she'll be out of time with the city orders work. So I really need enough volunteers to run it and be aware of it so that it's.
So if the
it's
police
fun.
only come quarterly, what happens to the drugs
They can only bring them for.
on the quarterly?
Yeah, we're not allowing staff or volunteers to collect the drugs because that just puts us in a funny position. So what are we gonna do with them?
And they're distributing narcotics.
We can distribute naloxone, yes,
Yes.
but the volunteers have been trained to do that. So they
And
can,
that'll be quarterly.
they can hand out
Oh, they can do
naloxone
that.
at any time.
So the off months, the 2 months that were, well, you never know. The 2 months that we're not collecting, the program's still going to be scheduled. There just won't be a collection. So it will be, right, it will be an educational component. So, I mean, I'm sure just as much as us, for you all, when you heard of the term opioid, what is that? Well, I know it's a bad drug, but which drugs are they? And so that component of educating our seniors in the community of what are other options versus taking opioids, or what are your options when you are taking them, or what are they? All of those questions will be our target.
And I learned yesterday that apparently some of our seniors are actually selling their opioids to make money, which I would imagine is illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal, but you know why they're doing it.
They need money.
They need
Yeah.
money.
You know, and then my neighbor had knee surgery, and the recovery's been really difficult. And she asked the doctor if she could have. You know, so.
They're highly
it's-
addicted.
But if you're in pain and she's not a druggie, you know, she just was in serious pain. So it's frustrating. Because
Yeah, well, the medical industry is kind of getting on board with understanding what happens.
Some big lawsuits.
Yeah.
Well, one of my medications that I take occasionally, only when I need it
Or
for.
4 meetings.
Yeah, away, really mad. I suffer real bad with rheumatoid arthritis, but I only take this medication if I need it for severe pain. It keeps me out of the emergency. Well, I was trying to get ready for my vacation. I said, oh, I don't have any bad. I gotta get a refill because it just sits there and expires, you know. And I called. They said, oh, no, you need to go to your doctor. I said, what? It is now considered an opiate.
Controlled substance.
Oh, right. I said, what? And they used to send that stuff to me in the mail. I get 90 days worth. I couldn't believe it. I said, goodness. And they said, yeah, it's serious drug. I said, oh, well, I said, just give me my 14 pills. I'll be gone. But, oh, it's just amazing.
It is.
All
When
these things
I had my hip
change.
surgery, they gave me a prescription when I left the hospital, and it ran out, and I was still in pain. It was a real, the doctor was at UCLA, it was a real thing to get him with my local doctor. He would want to write, he was reluctant to write the prescription, and they run it, and of course, as soon as I get it, about a day later, I don't need it anymore. So I have out of 40 pills in the
so
refill.
he's
I
out
have
there
about
selling.
I have about 35, and I go for a checkup, and I ask the doctor, and the resident is in the teaching hospital. And I said, what do I do with these? I have about 35. And he points from UCLA, you can see the VA center. Because if you go to the 7-Eleven, it's $20 a pill. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just telling you if you go to
To go sell them.
Sell them for $20 a pill, they were $1 a pill at CVS. So that's why people sell.
Yeah.
Highly profitable. Good to be in jail for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think I'd try that.
No.
It's not something we're
Ethically-
recommending
ethically
to our
or
staff.
legally, right now, there's a lot of reasons not to do
But I didn't realize that was happening, so it's another
it. That's
thing
not why
That
I
is something.
failed my security.
So stop is going well. But if you know anybody who volunteer on it, I'm still looking. It's a minor commitment. It's like an hour and a half once a month.
Is it starting 9 o'clock in the morning?
No, it starts about 10.
Oh, that's much better time.
So,
More reason.
and
It is reasonable.
and actually, the person I met with yesterday, she owns Genesis, which is a outpatient clinic for rehab. They're having an alumni meeting coming up soon, and they're going to see if any of their alumni will come volunteer. Because that was one of my target populations, with people who have been addicted and are no longer. It's like as former smokers, we're passionate about not smoking anymore. Nobody should smoke around us. So I don't think anybody here has ever seen me smoke, which is really weird because I smoke 3 packs a day when I smoke.
That's all right.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't remember you ever smoking.
3 packs a day.
You were courteous in your smoking, that's all.
I was what?
Courteous in your
Oh.
smoking.
I don't know if I smoked when I was here.
That's what I'm saying, you smoked whenever, you're gonna be right to, I call it not to be, to offending anyone who you felt that was.
So, and then the last thing is our out to lunch bunch.
But that's not kind of
Attendance at that is fluctuated from, I think, the low of 3 or 4 people to about 15. And I can't really tell why. Is it summer? Well, we've started in, I think, April, May. This last one had 4 people, and it was, where'd we go? I wasn't there. I think they went to Andrews. Yeah. And the one before that was at the Cheesecake Factory, I think, and that they had 12 or 15 people. So I mean, you're talking August and July. So it could be that. I mean, I recommended the Cheesecake Factory because it was new, and I think people might want to try it. So we're going to try something a little different. I've asked the person who's doing our graphic design to look at our flyer and revise it. And we have not put on it where we're meeting because I was concerned that we'd have so many people show up and we wouldn't have made an inadequate reservation. We're going to try doing it doing it on a quarterly basis, listing where we're going to be, so that people can make a decision. Because right now, they call the office and they email me. And so sometimes it's work answering all these people. So, and they asked if they could do a happy hour. So I think our one in October is going to be a happy hour down at West. I think we're going to do it West Side, down at the Harbor. Waterside. And then we're not doing something in November. We'll do something at the beginning of December because we figured it's the 3rd Wednesday. It kind of is right before Thanksgiving, and the same thing in December. So we're going to do a December meetup instead. And if you have any suggestions of a place that you think would be good for lunch, that would be great for the holidays, the first week of December, that's what we were thinking. Thinking someplace would be decorated, we can have a nice meal, celebrate the holidays. A little early, but
Time.
Anytime.
Shirley looks like she has something to say. No?
Oh, no,
Okay.
I'm just out just listening.
I'm a docent at Heritage Square.
Oh, okay.
We decorate Heritage Square.
Are they getting gingerbreads again?
Oh, yes.
And when is that going to be?
They're being accepted on December 7th.
So maybe we want to meet the second week, so that they can
right.
go through that,
Yeah.
do that as part of the lunch. Have lunch and we go see.
And then go visit that. Let me know because we're only open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to view gingerbread houses, because we just, we're just short of.
You can't.
But we'll open them up, or the La Dolce Vita has a key, so they can get it open, which is say that's part of your,
Okay.
what thing you'd like to do, and they'll open.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of a fun thing. And one of our members, one of the folks who's been coming, died on it. And it's so sad because she was hiking and overheated. So it wasn't somebody who died of old age. She was actually out there active, moving around, and just.
How do you schedule the date? Is it
The
like
date is
every
always-
Thursday of the month or
It's
every
always
Tuesday?
the third Wednesday, but December we're going to do it earlier. And this is an opportunity to go eat out at a restaurant with people, but you drive yourself there and you pay for the food. It's not like senior nutrition.
Not like a bush.
Yeah, it's we do
No, it's not like an excursion.
we do it in Santa Clara. That's the way we schedule every second Thursday of the month,
Okay. Yeah.
and we choose where we're gonna move. We have a long list in advance every year when
Right.
all the restaurants are already there, so you expect where we.
And that's what we're going to do that quarterly so that
Yeah.
people will be able
Know
to
where the
participate.
rest.
Sounds like fun.
So, yeah, they've had a good time. And good. I mean, I know people that have started seeing each other outside of that to go out to lunch. So, and which was the point. Was people who could afford to go out to lunch maybe didn't have somebody that they knew who also could afford to go out to lunch or wanted to try new places. And that's what this is about.
I was at Dominic's last night, they're not open for lunch.
Yeah.
And he said, if you want to come and manage it, we'll open for lunch. And I'm gonna take video.
No, it's okay. We will try the other place that you recommend.
Is it only seniors or it doesn't have to be? Right?
I don't,
Seniors.
we're only advertising it.
'Cause I see them next door sometimes.
Yeah,
People put
that's-
it out there.
Yeah, that's my volunteer who's leading the outing. She puts it up next door.
Yes, I'm assuming you get nuts.
And she lives down by. No, they're almost all.
Don't give her
They're
my
all
phone.
over. They're almost all. I think everyone is a senior.
Well, it makes
I think they-
sense.
49.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, if you're working, yeah,
I'm not judging.
if you're working, you're not going to
I'm
go out.
not gonna be there.
Because it's an hour and a half lunch. 2 hour lunch.
Depends on the entertainment and conversation.
Yeah. It's true.
So really quick, just in wrapping up this item on the agenda. So this is the third outreach meeting, is being hosted tonight here at Wilson Senior Center. This is an outreach meeting for the playground here at Wilson. So there has been some CDBG funds that were allocated to redo the park here. So I think it was 430 some thousand or 20 some thousand that were allocated, which is only probably about half the amount that's needed to redo the playground area. It is planned to be an all-inclusive playground. So many times people think of special needs when you hear all-inclusive. Me having a senior-minded mind, I think of all ages, all abilities. So seniors have just as much of a voice in this opportunity as a special needs individual. So there's been 2 other meetings and 2 meetings left, including tonight. There will be some, one of the voices will be pickleball at tonight's meeting. So we are working with parks to potentially include the pickleball, the transformation of those courts into pickleball courts. So we're looking at that FAR tennis court to be transformed into 4 pickleball courts. So if we can tap into this funding to do that, it would alleviate some of what we're doing. It's
Thank you.
a small version. I like to think it of a cross between tennis and racquetball. or badminton. I mean, I would say all three a combination. I think of racquetball because the racket's smaller and
Play with a wiffle ball.
yeah, so
Doesn't go fast.
right. And the paddle is only about that big, and it's a hard paddle. So, and you can fit 4 pickleball courts into 1 tennis court. In all of the conferences that I've been to in the past 2-3 years, pickleball's hot nationwide. I mean, in the recreation community and the senior services community, it's just one of those booming programs. So there will be some voices there this evening for pickleball, but you know, I had shared some pictures of seniors on using the playground with their grandchildren. That's important. Seniors using the exercise equipment, just body weight exercise equipment. And if we can get something like this throughout the park and have a walking program, positive programming pushes out the negative. Folks that
Kellogg
are,
Park has such inventora. I have a garden, community garden right adjacent to it. And they have a really cool, it's a 1/4-mile track around it, and it tells you every now and then how many feet you go.
That's good.
But it's got little exercise things there, and it's fun to do. I mean, I see kids playing on it, but I also see seniors exercising. Some of those things when you move your feet or you lift something, they're meant to be outside. That would be very cool.
Renee, on pickleball, how does that compare to table tennis or the ping pong? Is it a larger footprint?
I would say it's double the size of a ping pong table, maybe
Okay.
2 ping pong tables is the size of a court.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
you
bigger
think
than that.
four
It's 20
courts
by
fit
40.
into 1 tennis.
Okay.
In this week's Ventura County Reporter, the feature story was on the senior games in Wood Park.
Okay.
And on the cover of the reporter is pickleball. And you can see the paddle. It's a little bit bigger than a ping pong paddle.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's about like
small,
this.
yeah, much smaller than it. I used to play racquetball.
Mhm.
This looks like a lot less fun.
Definitely.
And it's, you play in doubles. A lot of people play with their grandkids on the weekends.
Well, okay.
So it's-
Intergenerational.
It's kind of it's taking the place. Remember, tennis was so big,
Right.
and people just aren't playing a lot of tennis anymore. So it's a great use of a tennis court. It's already paved. You just need different lines. You can even leave the tennis net up because if you're playing here and here, you want something to stop the balls from going across
Right.
on the other court. The net is a little lower than the tennis net. I think it's 34 inches high. So, and there's no rushing the net. Which times I play, like, I'm an old tennis player, and you rush to the net and slam it, and you can't hit the ball in the kitchen. I think it's 7 feet from the net. You can't touch a ball with your racket, so you have to be back. So it's maybe not as aggressive, or ball doesn't move as quickly. It's a lot of fun.
It's more senior friendly.
Yes.
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 It'll keep you moving, but not, you're not running after a ball that's hit cross
Right.
court.
Shucks.
Well, we still have tennis courts.
I wanted to ask, get back to the park situation about the exercise. Do we have a park here? I know 9th Street Sierra Park had some, when you're walking around, some measurements, or you can stop and do a little lead pull up or whatever. But I was wondering, in Oxnard.
We do on the corner of Patterson and 5th.
Oh, down by the Girls and Boys Club.
Yeah.
So the portion of the park that is on the opposite side of Patterson does have some workout stations there, which is not too far from Sierra.
I think they break it.
Is there some in
Reggie's school?
Fresno?
Where's Brecky? Where's Brecky School at?
Just in
What
the
street?
corner of the corner
Rose and what? Rose. Rose and what? You know, Rose goes one way.
Martin Luther. So Cesar Chavez, those two
One
streets.
toward the hospital.
Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Martin Luther.
Well, yeah, not to delay this, but, so how long before we think things will start to happen over here?
So it's a CDBG grant, so those funds need to be expended within the current fiscal year.
So it will happen soon.
Yes.
Okay, so, thank you, Mary
Proud of
Sue
you.
and Dan. Okay, our subcommittee reports, the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. Art, do you have anything to report?
No, not really. We've got our meeting tomorrow, which I'm not gonna be able to attend.
Oh,
If we could, mention that.
I'll be there. There's several people who aren't going to be there. In July, Jeff and I handed out the food coupons at the farmer's market. They're given out by the California Department of Agriculture and Farms. And it was a book, and there were
Five,
worth
$4.
$20.
$4.
Five $4 coupons in a book. And 3 years ago, we had 300, I think, and then last year they went up to 315. This year we had 425 books.
Oh,
You know, which is incredible that they found the money. And so it went really, really well. I've been doing it alone. And with Jeff there, it went very quickly.
We got there, I think the advertised time was 9 o'clock. We got there a little bit after 8, probably 75 people lined up. Just giving us the stink eye, where are you guys?
They started, I think they started gathering at 6:30 in the morning. They're early risers.
Right.
I mean, my observation, it was mostly, it's almost predominantly Hispanic. Speaking luckily, we had a chaperone who translated for us, because other than Nana, who welcome. Much of
Buenos
it.
dias.
Yeah, Buenos dias. And then the people were so, many of them were just really,
Oh, they're so grateful.
So grateful.
So,
but also a number of them don't want to sign their names. So they're just putting X's. So most of them put their name, no address.
there are a few that just can't,
They can't
they
sign their names.
don't know how to write.
But
But,
and it was in the middle of all these threatened ice raids.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Trump had threatened ICE was
See,
deporting all these people. So there was actually some thought that some people may not have because of that.
Because that was the day when they said, don't answer your phone. Don't answer your phone, don't go out.
So you have a booth or an area with tables?
Yeah, table like this.
Okay.
And actually, awning
We have,
canopies so that they're not sitting in the
So
sun.
you get there at 8.
Uh-huh.
So I get up about 6 or 6:30, lifelong habit.
You know, Loretta?
But, when I
You can be your alarm clock.
I've been close enough to ride the bicycle or walk over there. I
Okay.
think I'd like to do that, especially with the bilingual advantage.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
good.
we're grateful to
Okay,
have.
well, we do it every July. It's once a year.
Once a year.
And
That is it.
it's through the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. And so the nutrition expert there gives me the coupons, and she's very, she says, these are worth a lot of money, and so I have to keep them in lock and key. But anyway, it's a really nice thing for, and they can only spend them at certified farmers markets.
And is that one Sunday per July or every Sunday?
It's on the Thursday. It's a
It's
Thursday.
Thursday.
In Oxnard, it's a
At the
Thursday.
Plaza Park.
Oh,
They can
okay.
use them at the one out at the beach, but we distribute them at
Okay,
Plaza
well,
Park.
just note it down and I.
It was very rewarding, actually.
Yeah.
And plus VC AAA set up a table with all sorts of information on housing
Okay.
programs they offer. So they had them bilingually, so that was good.
We'll
and
get one of mine to you.
Okay, yeah.
they had senior services.
Yeah, we had a couple.
And then they, somebody invited,
Next door to us.
Dignity, funeral homes.
Oh, gee.
And they were handing out
Cremation
free
and-
waters. It's thought that maybe that would be a good idea.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't be right next to us. It was like the next
Here's
street.
some good food before you die.
They did give
Some
free,
water.
they did give free water. And it was
Or if you don't use the coupons, maybe.
Here's what's gonna
They
happen.
did not accept the coupons.
So anyway, that was, yeah,
That's so
it's a good thing.
Yes, thanks for
And
having me.
They want a member of the BC AAA council to distribute it, and that's me, that I can have help, so that was good. Also, tomorrow at our meeting, they're gonna hand out the legacy awards. And 2 agencies are getting them, and 1 individual is getting it, and I can't remember who the individual is. I
It can't be boarded.
We didn't, I didn't send in an application
Yeah.
for nomination.
And so, Senior Concerns is getting it for dementia friendly. They
We
have,
do a lot of work.
you know, they really have a beautiful program. They do the Montessori method of, with seniors. And so it's kind of brilliant how they manage the seniors and then food sharing. So that's what I know about BC AAA. And so then, Kay, you have a report on the new senior center.
What do we do now?
We did the rummage sale,
Yeah, we did the rummage sale.
That's very profitable.
probably
it
on
was-
that list.
Yeah, we didn't think we got many people there. That really wasn't a good
Yeah, it
turnout.
wasn't a
It was a
good,
slow day.
Yeah. Is there one way to, I know there's a lot of advertising on things we did here, but for some reason, the average person, I don't think, hears about it or something.
I just think we would have been better off to have it at Allison Woodville's house.
Yeah.
Or something.
Because, I mean,
Bottom line, we only made like $200.
Well, and so our end of advertising didn't change. I'll say it was consistent from previous years. But I think the difference was in previous years, some of the Spanish speaking vendors, I guess you can call them, I guess there's a kind of like Craigslist in the Spanish speaking community. And so they had put it out. I don't even know what this platform is. And I think that's what drew in some extra people. But it's also the hit and miss. You can have a garage sale this weekend and have a great weekend and have the same advertisement next weekend and it'd be a dead weekend. So who knows what it was.
yeah, because
But
I
it did
took
seem-
some really nice things that they were selling.
There were a
If
lot
they
of nice
sold
things.
them for 25 cents for a little china plate, and it just, and the big ticket item was Clark's bike,
Yeah.
10-speed bike, and sold for $45.
45.
And that was, and everything else went for $1, 25 cents. It wasn't, that's not how I want to spend my day.
But, I think there was another thing that may have happened, and it was mentioned earlier about another event, that somebody mentioned that they thought that with ice being out, may have discouraged some of the people attending the event, because they felt that the attendance wasn't nearly as good as it was last year. Whether that was something that had an effect on that.
It's definitely impacting a lot of our programs.
But like garage sales, you have people that drive and they park and they go through it and then they go to the next. I didn't see anybody like that.
No,
We just, it was a real, very, disinterested.
It was probably the ice situation.
It's
The ice.
Immigration. I know at the last committee meeting, we talked about maybe we're too focused only on this area. That there are other events and in the city that maybe we need to branch out. Not that we should. But like,
Advertising.
yeah, but like, for example, down at the beach, there was an art walk next week. Where they got a lot of them, so it was very well. So maybe it pays to do something down there. So,
Maybe it was at the wrong time.
yeah,
How about the radio stations? I know up in the Bay Area, they have a lot of community notices. The two radio stations for the Spanish speaking community here, is there a rule that they should give, or they have public announcements?
Yeah, but we weren't organizing it.
Okay.
So Gold Coast Broadcasting does a commercial where they do say any nonprofits can submit, any type of program announcements.
who
I don't-
ties in with the Tamale Festival?
What do you mean?
Which radio station?
Radio Laser is a big one.
Maybe we can tap into them.
How about signs in the neighborhood? Like in my neighborhood, they have sale in their homes.
Well, the funny
They
part is that was
Posts on the
actually,
posts.
yeah, so that was actually something Allison, she actually put up a sign a day or two before, and we've never done that. So who knows?
Anyway, we
Bologna
have to-
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Every week there's a rabbit
Right.
sale in the houses, and a lot of people come.
Okay, well, let's get back to this senior
The
center.
other thing is, we're working with Pepperdine this year, and we had our first meeting with the Pepperdine students, to start them with the program with us to help us organize ourselves better, as far as setting up procedures, making job descriptions, those kind of things for us.
And fundraising.
Right, and we need a fundraising master plan, and so that's what we've done.
Plus, we have the architects.
RNT.
Right, yeah, RNG, they gave their first draft.
Well, so RNT came out and did 2 community outreach meetings at South Oxford and the Wilson Senior Center within the past, I would say, 6-8 months. Then they met with the Orcas group and staff as a more focused group to discuss the layout of a new senior center design. And they came back with something that was a little more concrete as far as the design, and basically said, this is the feedback that we've received so far. What are your thoughts? And I think the overall consensus was they heard all of the wants and desires and needs, and that they were on the right page. So now they're moving forward with the conceptual designs and the pretty pictures and the videos and the various views. So hopefully in the next couple of months we'll solidify the conceptual drawings and the noise assessment, and then take it back to council for an update.
Have we heard any more about the MOU that we sent to the city?
I haven't received it. You sent me the
This is
the 3 views, but I don't have the
She's been hanging
information.
around seniors.
And we did.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, have you considered going to the Ventura County Community Foundation and exploring there? They have all the resources.
Yeah, once we get, we just felt, that's part of that, master plan for fundraising. And
Because, I mean, they are the master fundraisers. They're not going to school to learn how to do it. They already are doing it. So I wonder if you go there and talk to Susan Seal or somebody like
I
that.
think Susan's there.
Let me just talk with her. But Jim Rivera is there, and they can tell you,
Okay.
where their library is, industries around here that would be like Union Pacific, how you write your letter of intent, and they could
Oh, they're already set up for that. Okay, I
Yeah.
guess I did.
They have a library that you can access that will give you information.
And you go into the library and you say, I want to research people who will give money for senior centers. I mean, it's a wealth of information. And I think it's wonderful. I think,
Yeah, okay.
Pepperdine will be a resource, but
Yeah.
they're learning and we need,
Someone who's already doing it, and they know specifically companies and stuff.
The other thing that you can get at, their center at BCCF is, and I think this is where Susan, at least, I thought she would, maybe she's back,
they had some problems, but
yeah,
Oh, I know, it's a problem.
but
they're.
they have you can access the Foundation Center. It's a online grant thing that you have to pay to access, but they have a membership or whatever to it. And you can go through and search on funding for senior centers or funding for construction or whatever it is, and it will return, you put in your criteria and it will return who will give money for that.
But I just think that if you start in Camarillo, they're out there by the Camarillo Ranch House.
Yeah, no, I know where they
You start with them and they'll give you some direction. And it won't cost you anything.
Calling this Jim.
Jim Rivera,
Jim is the chief financial.
well, he's just a great guy. And he'll tell you, I called him a couple of months ago and he said, well, I'll have so-and-so call you. And he grew up in Oxnard.
So tell him that Alex sent you.
In fact, I have to talk to him about something else, so, but I just think,
Okay,
if you do
I'll get
this.
his phone number from you.
Yeah.
On the foundation phone number, yeah.
The other good resource is Nina Jensen. I think I've shared this with you before. Though. She used to work for BCCF and now she's at CLU, Nonprofit Leadership.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they have classes that they put on too.
Yeah.
That they may have just had one on fundraising. It's the one thing I don't ever look at going to because I don't raise funds.
Right. Very good.
But they have things, they do all kinds of
I think
classes.
that's
They
a
do
good
board
point.
development and that kind of stuff
We didn't meet with the 4 Peppermint members and they've never done anything like this.
Yeah, so that's.
too. Yeah,
And I was speaking, we each kind of sat next to one of them at lunch. And next to me was just, I think you need to be
yeah.
it's a great idea, but we're looking to be a little further.
I like working with the Pepperdine kids because it's a fresh look
They have a lot of energy.
and a different
No,
perspective.
I
But
think
bingo
there's
is
value
Their
in it, but
intentions. are
Yeah,
good.
right, but this is
you
something.
just, you have to make
This isn't
a
easy stuff.
bigger.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what else? Okay.
Anything else? Yeah, we were so glad you were here,
My
yeah.
fingerprints are
Oh,
clear
you
by
kids,
that.
you're following up on one of.
Oh,
one of these?
right, I can actually we talked about the web.
Oh, our webpage, that's one of the things.
And probably the most positive thing from the rummage sale wasn't the $220,
Your need.
but we met, not me,
Yeah.
they met a guy named Robert Guzman who who lives in Oxnard. I'm not sure of his age, it sounds like he's in.
Well, no one has
Oh, no
physically
one's-
seen him, yeah, like we've been talking on the phone.
Oh, I thought he actually showed it. Yeah, that's what he said.
29.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Old enough, old enough.
Yeah. So, because Jeff has, skills with his wife on webpages.
No, not on, no, she's better on Tai Chi, actually. But she's willing to look at what we're doing, but she's not a web creator. He's done some web creation and he had some good ideas. Renee pointed me to all the notes left from the last project on the web and they're really lacking. I mean, it was really difficult, but then I found out that Allison has our domain. There's a lot of issues. When it was done, it wasn't done really that clearly. If you search Oxnard, Orcas Seniors with two S's, Orcas Seniors, you will get a senior center in Washington.
Right.
Which is not what you want. If you do Orcas Seniors, you get us. So this guy has some experience with domain creation. He actually
Search engine optimization.
yeah, and that's really my wife's thing, is SEO, search engine. But he's he already has done some searches and trying to come up with a name that is we can register a domain for, plus it's clear for Twitter and for Facebook and for Instagram. So it's one right now. He thinks our name won't clear a lot of these social media networks. So, but he's in the middle of, he's doing this voluntarily. He's in the middle of setting up Halloween stores in the area. This is his real job. So every week we'll open a new pop-up store. This week was Camellia. But I think come the end of this month, there'll be more of those.
What I was impressed with, and by the time I talked to him, he had already gone on and found what our webpage was. He did his own research in advance. So I thought, oh, that's good. That's, a guy who's really interested. He's going to look it up and do it before I even get a hold of him on the phone. So anyway, we're following up with this guy. So they really help us with webpage. Because we desperately need a webpage.
We actually have a webpage, but nobody knows how to get into it to add, subtract, revise. And the student who set it up,
So we don't have webmaster.
Yeah.
I don't know right.
So
It's
we're working
definitely
on
not in
that.
our budget. It's not, unless somebody has that skill, and this is where he has kind of stepped up.
So we're really impressed.
I don't think he'll show up at our meetings because he works.
Yeah, no, and we're not sure we want him at our meeting. We don't want everyone who's working at our meetings that gets our meeting too big. We have to control, and we need a small board of directors with people, below them doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a month or so, I think we'll start moving forward with things.
It was a great meeting.
It was a really nice meeting.
All right, so now, how about collaboration with local agencies? And that's another subcommittee, Commissioner Gallardo. Is that how you pronounce it, or Gallardo?
Yeah, yes, just like the Lamborghini. Gallardo, Gallardo.
Gallardo. Well, however, you answered anything.
Spanish is my first language, so I normally pronounce it in Latino Spanish.
I just can't hold those R's. And Commissioner Owens and Commissioner Hughes. So have you guys met?
Will you elaborate on the collaboration? But I know last year I contacted Action to fix the carpet, or that carpet for a senior who doesn't have any carpet in the mobile home. And they said they have no funds when I called them again. But this year she said that they called her. But I don't know about the carpet, but she said they're gonna do painting at her mobile home. But the carpet's gone. She looks.
That's probably.
So what else do you do to collaborate?
Do they have no funds because of a grant coming in?
When I called them last year for the carpet, we still giving them grant, but we didn't give any grant this
I
year.
was like, this is,
But they're still
they were using
fixing.
those funds, I think, for handrails and.
I thought they were funded through the church.
A series of churches.
Series,
A comment on that. There's the 805 Carpenters Union, who has become very socially conscious. Their president, Mercy, has told me that if there's any seniors that need anything, their union members will donate time. I'm not sure about the materials, but on the weekend they will put the seniors for their living situation. They can do a lot of things that have to do anything that would be construction.
What is it called?
It's the Carpenters, Ventura County Carpenters Union, 805, local. And Mercy is the president. Anthony is the business agent. But he's
And so they specifically will do things for
for
seniors.
seniors, yes, no charge. They just volunteers to do something on the weekend, even if it's a multiple weekend event or activity. They had over 100 members at one of their, at one of the Ventura County Central Committee events, all volunteers. They supplied the food for the barbecue to feed the people that came in to vote. They're just a very active local union, and everybody was impressed with their activity and the participation. So that might be a good thing to help somebody that needs,
Carpeting.
and not necessarily a carpeting, but maybe a wheelchair ramp.
Yeah, they're
Well,
carpenters,
you're
union. They're not gonna do
Yeah,
Right.
there's, isn't there two groups that we've had before that work with seniors and do this kind of thing? So if they tie into the carpenters union, they should just add some more volunteers. Because they would, two groups that have money, to, supply the wood. Like if you're, the guys there,
Right.
only would do, they would do the physical work, but they don't have.
And it might take a week or two for coordination
Oh,
for the
it
baby
usually
time,
takes
yes.
him a lot of
Yeah.
time. But don't we have a couple
I do know that they do that.
So bottom line, you haven't met yet, is it, your working with local agencies? Your group didn't have a meeting prior or something? Okay, but, some kind of procedure, how we can match people, that's kind of, sounds like.
Well, I think that at the beginning of this calendar year, this subcommittee, when this goal was drawn up, I believe was the intention of, okay, now that we don't have grants and we're not directly connected with these local agencies that provide services, how can we continue to collaborate with these agencies? So in the past, the commission has issued funding or recommended funding to be supportive of these local nonprofit agencies. Those that received the grant funding came in and did a presentation, or a commissioner would go out and bring back information on that agency. So the thought behind this, and then last year we actually did a little reception for all the grantee agencies, and we sat in this room and everyone kind of shared what they did here in the city of Oxnard. So in the commission setting up this goal, the conversation behind it was how can we continue to promote and collaborate and stay aware of the services that are out in our community. So that's where that's.
Didn't somebody prepared a list?
Yeah,
It
it's
says-
Profits and nonprofits.
I think you should have gotten this.
It says
Yeah,
develop a
and-
calendar for visits and reports
Right,
to the
but
commission.
for what Kay is telling me is a profit, nonprofit.
That
for-
last year, that group put together.
Right, so kind of
But I
a
guess we
target
need
list.
I
to,
understand that we received that since we've been here.
yes,
With my, with that. June.
It would be early in the year.
yeah.
And it
We
says-
started, we only started here.
You're supposed to,
January.
Oh, well, we went here.
Did you start January?
No, we started in spring, summer. sometime.
I can share with you.
You can give me the, well, you give us the
We can
copy.
make.
We don't have that.
Take- take that.
We'll try not to
So I
save it
don't
too
know
early.
what it is now.
it's part of,
After-
I'm
it's,
never gonna let you know.
it's part of the action plan. And you're an ongoing goal number 2 of the action plan. So study that and then we'll ask you
That's not my
for
field,
it. Yeah,
but I don't have a report either. 'Cause
it's
I'm with you on something.
Victor Clark and Lourdes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so. Commission comments, and I have a comment because I'm really excited about this. One county, one library program. This is the second year, and the goal is to get all the people in Ventura County, it's like a giant book, and they recommend a book, and so they recommend that you read the book in October, and November 1st, the author of the book is going to be at CSU Channel Islands, and it's Susan Orleans, and she wrote the library book. That's what it's called, the library book, and it's fabulous. It's about the Los Angeles Library that burned, and so she's kind of doing this, what caused it, this arson and this. Then she goes into the background of libraries, and it's real interesting. And so they're supposed to be promoting it here at the Oxnard Library. Every library is going to have extra copies of the book, the library book. It's red with full print on it, and so those of you who want to read, all sorts of things. Susan Orleans, O-R-E.
What's the name of the event? One county, one.
It's one county, one library. It's, if you can Google it, I can't get it online. Somebody said it's one county, one book, but I thought it was one county, one library. But all the counties in California are doing this, but they'll maybe choose a different book. But Ventura County, and it's the libraries, and Oxnard Library is supposed to be part of it, but I haven't seen anything advertised down there.
It's one county, one book.
One county, one book.
And it's Susan Orlean without an S on it.
But it's a fun way to, I have several friends and we want to take a trip down to the Los Angeles Library just to tour it, and that might be a good excursion. It's too late to plan it, but it's a fabulous building. It's just unreal.
Can you get a hold of the lady who's doing our book clubs and tell her to put that on the book club that's being here?
Yeah, we can do that. Just the rotunda in the Los Angeles Library, it's these murals,
Yeah, it's a historical building, isn't that?
yeah, yeah, and it was like, are they gonna tear it down or not? And,
She's gonna
this
be at
is the
CSU.
rotunda. It's just, it has murals, and then they have this world globe. So anyway,
What's the date at CSU?
November 1st.
November 2
Oh, November 2nd.
at 2 p.m.
You're supposed to get it now and read it, so you.
Just the idea is to
Yeah.
bring everybody together in Ventura County, and I'd love to see a lot of seniors participating. Okay, that's my comment. Anybody else have any comments?
I have something that might work for you, and anyone else that's connected with the Christmas parade we have this year. Do you know Manuel Herrera?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
I mean, not personally,
Okay.
but I do know of him.
okay, yeah, he's a tremendous connector of car owners for events.
Right.
I mean, he's,
He puts on, helps puts on
Oh, yeah.
our show.
yeah, he does really good.
So the commission had a discussion, we did discuss that email that was sent by Alice Madrid. And the recommendation was keep the float and use the car clubs as a backup. The seniors of the senior center do all the decorations alongside staff, so the consensus, I think, was let's keep the float.
They have so much fun.
As long as we don't get a flat
And it's so
tire.
good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
I don't think so.
We already did this.
Yeah.
It's very-
Okay, so our meeting at the public library.
In the newly refurbished.
And, is it?
I don't know.
They were under construction.
That's why we're not there.
Oh. You always wonder because they say the city has no money and.
Change them on my phone.
Yeah. So, if there are no further business, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Jeff moved and Mark seconded to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much.
Okay, phone number.